Nick, if I could ask one more, I'm just curious. Looking at your sort of financial operational strategies, I'm just wondering. You've laid this out, you've stuck to this, and I'm just wondering. Do you all go back, or would you all? I guess what I'm wondering, would you all consider altering these plans to potentially more growth, dividends, or I don't even know, maybe even something strategic with your midstream, given the sizable position you have there. And again, why I ask this is just looking at, I know one year doesn't make history, but for the past year, your stock's up 6%, despite the share price returns versus your three closest peers up somewhere around 30 to 60%. So I'm just wondering, when you kind of look back, if you would consider any of these alternatives.
It's a good question, Neil, because it really speaks to the broader strategy and philosophy that we apply within the company. So first thing I'll say is, like, any option when it comes to sort of realizing the NAV per share of the company and the share price, we're obviously wide open to considering it and running the math. But just sort of walking through the overall strategy and approach. The first chapter, which wasn't all that long ago, was really trying to set us up to execute the strategy, to your point, that we've been employing the past couple of years. And that was no small task. That was a massive lift. We had to figure out how to reintegrate midstream. We had to figure out how to spin coal. We had to figure out how to refi our balance sheet and build it into what we wanted it to be. We had to delever, right? So all those things were accomplished, and it really put us in a position to be that positive free cash flow generator and then be able to allocate the capital. Now, when we started on sort of the capital allocation side, once we had all that other stuff accomplished, we didn't hide anything and told Mr. Market exactly what we intended to do. We were very clear about that. Heck, our chairman of the board, he wrote a book on it, literally, The Outsiders. And if you want to get a read into how we think about our decision making, just give that book a read. It's almost just a perfect roadmap on how we think on behalf of owners. And I'll say it's not rocket science, but it is absolutely different for the space that we're in. And it's also, I think, incredibly effective over the long term. So you look at from 2020 to today, the strategy and the execution from our perspective under that philosophy, it is clearly working. A quarter of the company has been taken in. That's not noise. That's hugely material. And more importantly, this is like the crucial point or piece of it. It was done at very attractive prices compared to the intrinsic value of the company. And amazingly, to me, at the same time, we delevered the balance sheet. So like we said in the commentary, that's rarefied air. And it might be, 101 in the public company universe when you look at other public companies that are out there beyond energy. So, is the strategy working? I don't want to go into R-rated here, but I'll say, heck yeah. Mr. Market might have been sleeping on us a bit, and a quarter of the company was retired over that time. And if Mr. Market's still asleep, we're still on the move with the strategy execution. And before you know it, these numbers start to get very substantial, almost to the point where they get absurd. So we know this is going to work because, frankly, from our perspective, it's working. It's working as we speak. And the last thing I'll say is everything to keep on doing this is entirely within our control. So we don't need to issue debt to win. We don't need to do a major acquisition to win. We don't need high gas prices to win. All we need basically is time to run the play and execute. So we're very pleased with where we're at, and I understand exactly the questions and the points that you're making and what you're looking at. I just wanted to put that in the context of how we approach it with our philosophy.
Yeah, thanks for the candid answer, Nick.